Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Swati Kumari, and today I'll be discussing about the strata control monitoring with convergence indicators and a trend analysis in the convergence board and pillar extraction through two case studies, one of Govinda Colliery and the other of Chacha Mines at SCCL. So, in India, the underground coal production is mainly coming from the conventional manual phases, accounting to about 87% of the total coal production from the country. But economical, environmental, and safety considerations for an underground coal mining projects directs to go for mechanization. In general, there is always a requirement for continuous and precise measurement of various parameters which tell us about the roof conditions. A row of such electro-optical techniques exist and are used in a number of capacities to provide the three-dimensional information. But the strata behavior in case of the board and pillar extraction is even complicated with respect to the Longwall method of extraction because of left-out rib pillars in the GOF as remnants and bleak homogeneity in the extraction of the front. So, strata control instrumentation and monitoring with proper analysis has emerged as a leading global solution for apprehension of strata movement during final extractions. Through this study, I have tried to explain about the modern strata movement and strata management techniques like that of convergence indicators during the final extraction of mines, applying the board and pillar method of mining. Also, my objectives are to clearly analyze the rise heading panel convergences as well as to provide multi-scale predictive models to establish relationships between the roof convergence via instrumentation data analysis. So, there are a range of investigations and analysis methods that may be used in conducting risk assessments for the principal mining hazards. This includes site characterization, regulatory, legislative, and design, experimental, analytical, and empirical methods, and numerical methods. The site characterization perspective from a strata control planning may range from an initial site characterization and design as a part of assessment at the project via geotechnical models, whereas for the legislative, the CMR regulations require mine operators to determine if strata failure is a principal mining hazard at their mine and if determined to be carry out various risk assessments and to develop control measures with particular components and considerations. For design, moving from the legislative stage to the geotechnical issues are not addressed in isolation but as a part of the overall mining planning and design. This involves layout selection, the mine life cycle, the methodology, critical regional geotechnical features like massive strata and structural geology, the pillar system design, and subsidence monitoring. The experimental approach is generally applied to all aspects of strata control. It should be used with cautions when applied on its own. This method may be reliable if the designer can ensure proper working of it. And at the same time, applications representing the source of the experience is comparable to that of the current design issue. The analytical method, on the other hand, applies equations developed from fundamental mechanistic or engineering principles to analyze the rock behavior, which controls the applied design outcomes, which can be applied numerically like that of a factor of safety. The empirical methods are designed and formulated in a manner to develop from the statistical analysis of controlled quantified databases of experience. Coming to the numerical methods, they are designed in order to involve the computer codes to the analysis of ground behavior. They may range from relatively simple two-dimensional computer codes incorporating the elastical models of ground behavior to very powerful three-dimensional codes which are capable of modeling complex mining geometries. Now, there are various factors which affect the suitability of the instrument. This includes the depth cover, excavation design, the voids, rock mass, and underground environment. The underground environment generally is classified into the heat, humidity, and visibility, among which visibility is a major factor. The instruments. So the geotechnical instrumentation, although has been extensively used in the coal mines, still there is no standard procedure for undertaking the investigations as well as type of instrumentation for monitoring and strata behavior. Over the years, these geotechnical instrumentation and strata control technologies have undergone considerable change. Inadequate number of improper selection of instruments may lead to unsafe decisions by mine planners, while more than the required number or type of instruments can lead to confusion, but can not only lead to confusion but at the same time be economical. The various such instruments are classified into mechanical, electrical, optical, and hydraulic. So in the figure, in the chart itself, you can see that among these, the mechanical instruments are the cheapest and the most reliable method for detection and transmission of data with clearer prediction, whereas the hydraulics only measure water pressure through diaphragm transducers capsule in an outer casing, which not only makes it uneconomical but at the same time unpredictable too. Now, the instrumentations in general, the dynamic loading, which is a phenomena because of which there is a closure of vertical gap between the roof and the floor, occurs in the board and pillar method of mining. So in order to monitor these, we have telescopic convergence indicators. Now, these can be classified into two types, which include the telescopic rod convergence indicators and the suspension convergence indicators. Although both of the two have similar working and are graduated with 1 millimeter of least count, since the scale does not fade because of eking, the telescopic rod convergence meter has a presence of reflecting tape which enables easy viewing in low light conditions. At the same time, they are easy to use and transport. The convergence station for this indicator is usually located at a distance of 20 meters. Whereas in case of a suspension convergence indicator, it has got two pins A and B, where the pin A is fixed to the outer tube and the other pin is fixed to the rod. The instrument is generally simple and can even retain the original position when disturbed by high tension springs. Now, I have tried to analyze the strata control monitoring through two case studies, which includes the modern strata management or monitoring with the assessment of roof and floor convergence during the final extraction in board and pillar conventional method in the Govinda colliery, and the other study deals with the analysis of the strata control monitoring in the underground coal mine for apprehension of strata movement at the Chacha underground mine of SCCL. So the first case, as you can see in the figure, as you can see in the mine plan itself, it's an instrumentation plan where they have tried to classify the board and pillar method via using the panels. At the same time, this study is pertinent to trend analysis of convergence monitoring during the board and pillar method of depillaring in -1 rise panel, 0 rise panel, and 1 rise panel. The other informations that we can withdraw from this that I withdrew from this case study was that the comprehensive strength of the sandstone which was tested in the lab of the immediate roof was found to be about 385.67 kg per centimeter square, and the depth of working was about 46 to 111 meters, and the RMR was found to be 41 with the size of the pillar as 22 by 22 meter. The north side of the P4 panel of the UK top seam was found to have a 47.7 meter of radial parting and a minimum horizontal distance of 26 meter as per the plan, whereas the west side has been found, which was previously depillared with a -1 rise panel, has come up with 11 number of faults which have invaded in the panel, making it into 3 parts. So seeing this geological and the geomining difficulties, we can easily anticipate that there are caving constraints, and hence it can be concluded that convergence monitoring is necessary for the mine. So they have fitted a telescopic convergence rod as instruments in order to analyze the convergences in the after the first to sixth major roof falls that occurred, as well as the panel extraction, as well as while the panel extraction was going on, and they found that the rise heading experienced a maximum daily convergence of about 10 millimeter and a cumulative convergence of about 46 millimeter, and the maximum area of the hanging gove was about 1200 meter square and was experiencing a daily convergence of 15 millimeter. Whereas in the case of the major roof falls, they found out that the maximum daily convergence from 0 to -1 and 1 rise heading varied from 8 to 16 millimeter per day, and the minimum daily convergence was ranging between 3 to 5 millimeter per day, being the panel barrier side and being the convergence monitoring stations at the gove edges. So we can summarily conclude that it implies that the geomining situations were difficult for caving, and we have to opt for other pillar extraction techniques Other pillar extraction techniques, which might include use of grouted roof bolts, use of grouted roof bolts with caving. The second case study is about the Charcha mine in the Sonhat coal field with its eastern extension of the main Sohagpur master basin. The height and the width of working varied between 2 to 2.9 meter, and the width was about 4.2 to 4.8 meter. The nature of the roof and the floor was of massive sandstone, which was about 51.61%, and the thickness of the cover was 236 meter, with the expected incubation period predicted to be about 10 months. And since the incubation period was so long, they carried out the operations with drilling and blasting and LHD combinations. In the mines, all the original galleries and the heightened galleries and split galleries were supported by the fully column grouted roof bolts of length 1.5 meter at an interval of 1.2 meter each, and all these junctions of original galleries, which were lying between two panels of working pinners, were supported by fully column grouted roof bolts in conjunction with 3 number of W straps, which were placed at 1.2 meter intervals. And at the working places, they had 2 row of grouted roof bolts as well as 3 number of W straps with the same interval distance. For the gove edges, they used an integrated steel framed cogs of 50 ton capacity, which were topped with wooden sleepers of not less than 30% of the total height. And for strata monitoring, they used a telescopic convergence indicators, load cells and stress cells. And the data generation was integrated using a computer-based data bank. From the case study, I found out that the maximum daily convergence was about 14 millimeter per day, which was observed between 2013 to 2014, and the loading effect lasted up to 3 days before the fall, which indicates the breakage of roof stratum. The peak cumulative convergence was found to be about 109 mm at the time of the main fall, and it was such that the station was about 10 meter away from the gove edge. Whereas the maximum daily convergence was found to be about 16 millimeter per day just 2 days before the fall. So you can see that the peak cumulative convergence highly varied from 16 to about 109 millimeter when at the time of fall as well as 2 days before the fall. So the trend of the peak convergence during the first major fall can easily tell us about that the displacement that occurred was 74 to 124 mm of cumulative value, and there was a vast hanging area of gove of about 23,088.5 meters square. So I think from these 2 case studies we can easily conclude that there are issues which are related to strata control and they tend to be very uncertain in times of underground coal mining, and there are many unseen geological and geotechnical features which may influence the strata behavior during pillar extraction and which makes the situations more complex and vulnerable to strata failures and accidents. And apprehensions of such strata movement is a basic requirement on scientific approaches for the prevention of such accidents due to fall of roofs and sides, and intense scientific studies for such apprehensions of strata movement may require a strategic action, including a considerable span of time, limiting it for urgent hours of need. So scientific and innovative reformations in roof management can help the strata control monitoring become a bare necessary to come out of the age-old presumptive practices for the survival and growth of coal mining industry. These are my references. Thank you so much.